Howdy, I'm Jay Knight, Tower Crane Guy. I'm going to put you guys up on the ceiling and get you a just straight look down on the captain's chair and how the operations work. This is a Potain MR160C Luffing JibTower crane, 130 foot of jib. We're 129 feet up in the air, as you can see. And our max pull is 11.5 ton, coming in at 22,046 pounds. Let's get going. Alright, so this is probably the best seat in the house I can give you. And oh, sorry about that. We're gonna do some slewing. I'm gonna show you guys. This is your cable up and cable down, and this is your slewing right and left, swing right and left, and this will be your boom down and boom up. And we'll just move around a little bit. You guys see what that looks like. So I'm booming down right now, and I'm going to cable up just a little bit. I think they're getting ready to pull this load right here, but we're doing wall forms. We've been on wall forms the last couple of weeks. And
cable down, woman.
They're going to pick this up. So we're just going to drop down here and pick this up for them real quick.
Cable down and boom up.
I knew the second we started moving the crane, they'd call for me, so.
Cable down, cable down. You won't. No, turn your right. Cable down. Cable down. Oh, you cable?
What you see me push there, that's the swing brake. So it keeps, once I get it set in place, I push this and this sets your brake. You can do that when you have a lot of high wind, or you're trying to manipulate the crane into a certain area and it's having some reflex on you, or it wants to swing back. A lot of cranes will do that, so this locks the brake into place so it doesn't allow that to happen. And you can get more precise with your swing and how you want to lock it in where you want it. This particular job site is just a complete square, and my two biggest squares are going to be out this way. So it's a square, and I have high power, utility lines out there, so I have to be really careful getting out there on the shear wall. But you can see it out in the corner. So it shear walls out. So we're going to pick this up. I don't know if you guys can see that down there. So we're picking up a wall form, and I'm just going to get some tension on the chains. I'm going to start picking it up, and as I do, I'm going to swing left to stand it. Slow down my swing and slow down my cable up just a little bit. You can see me working the controls there on that. And she's off the ground. Now see, a lot of problem, you see the guy down there fighting the load, it's because they want to push on it. And if they insist to push on it, there's not too much I can do. I can't be in two places at once. So a lot of times they'll push on the load, and it'll make the load swing a certain way. And you end up having to counter swing like 2 and 3 times because they are persistent to do that sometimes. They want to try to control the load instead of letting the crane work. So it can make for a long day sometimes, but I mean, the more you operate, the more you'll have to deal with things like that, and you just get used to it. So when I went to crane school, I mean, you know, you're taught how to run cranes, and you're taught about charts and, you know, load charts and things of that nature, but you're never, the rest of the stuff is hands-on. I mean, you gotta get some experience in the industry to experience these different personalities you come across and the different ways people do things. And the way they do things isn't always right, and you try to be as professional as you can about it, trying to do things the right way, because there's only one way to do things in this business, and it's the right way. So you can't take any shortcuts, and if you do, you'll pay for them in the end. So I would never suggest someone to take a shortcut running a piece of heavy equipment like this. Absolutely not. A lot of this is common sense. You know, a lot of running a crane is common sense, where if it doesn't look right, it doesn't sound right, it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. So I had many years in construction before I became an operator, so I've seen a lot of things. I haven't seen everything, but I've seen a lot of things. And I used to be one of the guys on the ground, so I know what it's like to be down there to rig loads up and be around swinging loads and dynamics. And having the construction experience I do coming into this trade really helped. But they're oiling this down right now, so we're gonna stand it up, and we're probably gonna take it over here we're gonna swing over here probably to our 9 o'clock, which is right out here. I already see a guy in place, so we're gonna set that. And like I said, there's some high-powered power lines out there. We're not real close. I think we're 25 feet or more away from it, but you just got to be super careful. Your load doesn't swing out or anything like that. So we're gonna tighten up the chains here, which you see me doing with this hand. And as I'm bringing it up, so we're 163 pounds so far on this load. This is your LMI. I'm 33, and I'm 33.1 feet out. The boom is from the cab, or from the slewing gear. We're 109 feet down in the cable. Now as I'm gonna swing left just a little bit to stand this up, and I'm doing I'm doing this so the load doesn't swing out. You never just want to pick a wall form straight up, because it will swing out. You want to keep the hook over the load at all times. Now we picked it up. And I'm gonna make sure that I clear these columns, these column forms. I've cleared them. You'll see us swinging left here, and you'll see 3 guys standing down here on the ground on the outside wall. That's where that form is going. Slow down my swing. I'm gonna lock my swing brake, and I'm just gonna start booming down, bringing the load. As I'm booming down, I'm going to cable up. It keeps the load in place. Anytime you boom down a load, it'll cable down as well. So running a luffer is just like running a mobile crane on the ground, except you're up in the air. Dynamics are a little different too as well. So I'm gonna slow down on my boom, let it catch up. I'm gonna boom down again, let it catch up, and cable up again. I gotta go over this this rebar wall. Is it going on the inside or outside?
Inside.
10-4. So I'm just making sure that it was going on the inside. If it didn't, I needed to cable up a little more. So I'm gonna boom down. I got a little bit of swing in it. It's not a big deal to be, you know, it's not problematic right now. Once I get it in a place, I'll catch it a little more. Once I get it closer. like I told you, we got power lines out in front of us, so I particularly am taking it slow right here because of that. Getting closer. As we get closer, I'm gonna boom down just a little bit, snug up that wall form against the rebar. Okay, I'm gonna swing left just a touch, just to get rid of that gap in the wall. Oh, they're gonna put something there. Okay, so maybe I'm not gonna swing left.
Coming back.
Right when I cable down, I boom down just a little bit so it would flush it against the rebar. This way it doesn't have a chance to, once you set it down sometimes, if you're not boomed out far enough, it'll come back on them and you'll have to cable back up to get the tension out get the tension in the line so it doesn't lay down on them. So I just boom down a little bit to lay it flush against there. And now they're gonna set it in place, and they're gonna put those support bars down on the ground and flush up against it to keep it up there. This is what we've been doing for the last couple weeks. We've just been setting wall forms, pulling wall forms after they've finished concreting the wall, and we'll continue to do this until it's finished. And then they're going to lay a floor on top of this, and we'll jump up and do the next one. And we'll just keep doing that. I want to give you guys just a totally different view of actually getting to look down a little easier and see the controls and how they work. So, but that's going to be about it for this edition of Tower Crane Television. I'm your host, J9, the Tower Crane Guy. I'm going to sign off right now. Just want to give you guys a little snippet of what we're doing today. Remember, if it doesn't make dollars, it sure the hell doesn't make any sense. You're only as good as your last pick. We're going to see you guys on the next pick on Tower Crane Television. I'll see you then. Peace.